Hello, Dr. Wilborn. I figured I'd just come home and get this video last reflection out of the way. This is the final video that is supposed to be reflection on all the classes put together, and I won't lie, thank God it is Friday tomorrow. I am just mentally drained, and I haven't felt like this for a long time. This class was such a impact, like boom, right there, and the whole time, and I was just one after another and after another, and it was great. I learned so much between grades about myself. Knowing that if I teach algebra, I'm gonna have to make a whole refresher on myself. But it's been quite an experience, I can say. I think going off of the questions you have. I think the biggest idea that I came across this week was when we do math, we have to make sure, even though they're probably not going to want to, we need to make sure that they understand why we're doing something in math, why the numbers work, and like they said, making a bridge between the things, making a complete understanding, and also don't just focus on the sections, algebra, geometry, trigonometry, and whatnot. We can kind of incorporate math all together, and by doing the extensions, go into those extra levels. And I think that was the biggest thing I got. Being able to know that, hey, you need to be able to go and understand, explain, but also don't do the procedural math problems as much. They're still needed, I think, but we need to make sure, like you said, the tasks, and I think that was another big thing. Get a task and make sure it incorporates multiple aspects of maybe in a unit, in math in general, and make sure they can do that task, because you need to make sure that math is being able to build upon. Math isn't just about one problem, it's about a whole bunch. So that's probably the biggest thing that I got out of it. The one thing that I can say I'll take away from this class is all the stuff we can implement into the classroom. I mean, you gave us so many worksheets. What I mean by that is worksheets that have ideas to them that we can build upon. That it's so hard to do that on your own and to think of those, where they say the best resource for a teacher is another teacher, because really it's like there's already things out there made for students to help students learn. We as teachers need to get together and share those ideas, and that's what you're doing. You're sharing the ideas and how to help students learn. And before coming to this class, I was like, well, manipulatives, I don't have a lot. Do they really work? I think that was another big thing I took away from this, was the manipulatives we use. They are so handy, and I'm finally noticing that when you use manipulatives to get them to understand why you're using them and how it's working, and then slowly take them away, and then when they can do it without having the manipulative, that's when they're ready to move on. And some things can't use manipulatives all the time, but a lot of things for my course too, I can. Even my geometry, I want to be able to make sure I talk about the basics, the understanding of numbers, and the algebra. Some of the algebra stuff you gave us was very easy to solve if we do it like we know, but the way they want to, it's going to be a little harder. Like example, I just remember that spade worksheet, the equations with spades. That was tough because you didn't have any variables, and you're like, well, spade is spade, and we're not used to seeing that. And I'm anxious to give that to my kids, even my geometry kids, and see, can they do that? And it's funny, walking into Monday, I didn't know what to expect. I knew I was going to learn a lot, but then when you gave us that pretest, I was like, oh my God, I really don't remember algebra. And it's amazing how algebra has gotten me, especially with the help of elementary, to think simple, to keep things simple. And I think college professors used to always tell me KISS. And I tell my students at summertime, especially my geometry and doing proofs, KISS represents keep it simple, stupid, we lack that idea to keep things simple every now and then. When there's a problem, hey, keep it simple first, and if it gets complicated, work harder. But I think that was the thing that came into I couldn't keep that simple idea, and that helped me. And then also with some of the complex problems, I realize now if I teach algebra, I'm really going to have to reteach myself some of the concepts and make sure I get a real understanding of why the things are working. You know, why the numbers are working, like example 4, the tables, the graphing, and the 5 ways to represent quadratics, you know, graphing, explanations, or I should say, I have to check that. It's maybe not quadratics, but the 5 ways we were talking about, graphing, word problems, stuff like that. But that was definitely one thing I took away, and I hope eventually I do teach algebra, because I think I can be a good algebra teacher just from this class, but it's definitely a lot of things that I have to remember and learn how to do. So I want to thank you. I know this week probably hasn't been easy on you either, being there for that long and going home so late. So I appreciate everything you're doing, and I will see you for one last time tomorrow. All right, thank you.